got sicker, disputing claims that you.
Alrighty, well, we're here today with Jake from Modern Baseball. Going to talk a bit of guitars. So, Jake, if you could tell us on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a guitar nerd would you consider yourself?
Probably like a 3.
Oh.
Honestly. I think, well, we've all been getting a little better recently. When we started the band, me and Brendan particularly were like we didn't know anything about guitars, and like we each had like a Boss DS2 and a tuner pedal, and that was it. So, but lately we've been, after like more touring and more time at home between tours, we've been able to like experiment with more stuff. So we're trying to get better. We're practicing.
Well, from what we've heard today, it seems like you guys are pretty clued into your tones. Like, how long did it take you to develop the sounds that you're using now in recordings and live?
This last year in particular has been a pretty big shift for us. The biggest difference was probably when we went into the studio for this most recent record. And we had our friend Joe, who produced it, is like a super guitar nerd, super pedal nerd. So he had a lot of impact on that, and like helping us take that. This was the first time when we recorded guitars for an album where we spent like extensive amounts of time figuring out what pedals work the best out of which amp with which guitar. And we got a lot from that. So after that experience, we had a way better idea of how to get where we wanted to be tone-wise. So that was super helpful.
Makes a lot of sense. So when we were recording earlier, you were saying that the board has been stripped down recently.
A little bit.
What's kind of made the cut, and and why has it made the cut? Like, what are the essential? Why are these the essentials?
Cool. Let's see. So this white guy right here is the JHS double barrel, which I actually stole the idea from Joe, our producer, who has the same one, and we used it a fair amount on the record. This is kind of something that I've been trying to recreate for the last like 2 years, but then I finally got one, and I was like, oh, this is what I want, and it's in the same thing. So the left side is a clone of this other pedal that well, not a clone because they make it, but it's like a Morning Glory, which is a really nice transparent overdrive that doesn't get too thick or meaty, but it's just basically like turning up the amp. And then this right side is a Tube Screamer clone, so it's like a little bit meatier. And so there are definitely songs where I'll use one or the other, but also since both sides are made by the same company, they stack super well. Correct. If you just crank both on to go crazy. And that's the thing that was so hard for a while, was like trying to find 2 different pedals made by 2 different people that would sound good together. But this was the best option. And then Digidelay I've been using for a really long time. It's just like a basic delay, but I love how specific you can get with it, as far as like I use a lot of kind of like slapbacky delays, but then also for certain songs I like really long stuff. But with this, it's basically like a calculator, and it's so easy to use. And then I just recently got this flashback delay. Like I was saying, I was always going back and forth between like a slap and a long thing on here, but with the flashback, it has a bunch of different cool settings, and it has a really good slap setting. So I bought it for that, so I can have that at slap all the time, and then I can have this guy at like long cool delay all the time, and I can like stack them if I want for really spacey stuff, but also if I just want a little bit of room, I can throw on the flashback. And that was another thing about recording, was that every time we recorded a guitar, like 9 out of 10 times we would pick a delay or a reverb to just put like the tiniest bit on to give it some space. And I've been doing that a lot live with this, just like a little hint of a slapback delay to make it feel less naked, but it's been awesome. So the song Every Day that we did in the Blunt session is, for most of it, I have the Morning Glory side on, and then I also have the little flashback delay. So it's just a nice, like a little bit overdriven. And it's just got like a little bit of room on there. And then there's another part in that song where there's like a big heavy part in the middle. So right there, I just flip on the Tube Screamer side, and it's. So it just fills out really nicely. Then I flip her off. And then, let's see. There is, and then for Apple Cider, I Don't Mind, I do a lead. I play lead in that song. Brendan plays rhythm. And for that, I do both delays because it's more spacey. And I do the Tube Screamer side without the Morning Glory side because I don't want it to be super obnoxious distorted. But since I'm just playing single notes, it like gives it a little more girth, you know? So. Whereas this one would be like. So, you know, but when I'm doing rhythm stuff, it's great because I'm strumming harder. But for a little, you know, it just feels that better. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So I guess my final question is just about your guitar. Like, what drew you to this particular one, and how essential is it to your tone? This
is actually a really recent acquisition, thanks to our new friends at Fender, and it's like it's really nice. It's easily the nicest guitar I've ever owned, and the best sounding guitar I've ever owned. I've always played Telecasters with modern baseball, except for back in the way beginning, and I used to play. Like a Mexican Tele that I took the bridge pickup, not the bridge pickup, I took the neck pickup out and it had a hot rail in the bridge. So it was like nice and meaty and thick and I was always on the bridge pickup. But then with this, it's a little thinner because it's still a single coil in the bridge, but it's just so like, it's still really warm and it cuts really well. It's got this great new noseless pickup that they made. And this in particular has been responding really well to the double barrel with just like the crispiness of it. But yeah, me and Brent are both big fans of Fender stuff. He's got a Strat right now, but I'm a big bridge pickup Tele guy. That's nice. Kind of just like you could sum up my guitar playing like that, pretty much.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for donating your time this afternoon. We really appreciate it.
For sure.
Good luck on the road.
Thanks, man.